Evan, right before the break, I had asked you, in short, sort of, why buy Tweety and not a service like a URL shortener like Bit.ly? How do you decide that?
Well, it's a complicated equation. It depends on what the product offers, how hard the technology is to build, and what it really offers to users. Our goal with everything is how do we deliver more value to users more quickly. So sometimes that's an acquisition, and sometimes it's not. And sometimes, in the majority of cases, actually, it's better if something lives out in the ecosystem and it can evolve and people can innovate without us having to own it.
Without you even having to spend on the R&D, I would imagine. Talk to me a little bit about international. About 60% of your audience, I believe, is outside the United States. Today we heard Apple delaying its international launch of the iPad. How important is that international segment of the business for you? How do you make that profitable?
Well, the international is critical to us because our goal is to serve the world and to enable the open exchange of information. And most of the world is outside the United States. So by definition, we need to serve more of the world. About 20% of internet users are in the US, but only about 10% of mobile phone users are in the US. So by definition, we want to serve the entire world. Different parts of the world are harder or easier to monetize, but we think there's opportunities all over.
So would you consider acquisitions at an international level to be able to grow your base there and platforms there?
It's possible. We haven't really considered that now, and acquisitions aren't a core part of our strategy. We think we're growing very quickly internationally, mostly organically right now, and through some partnerships.
Also wanted to ask you, when we think of kind of outside of the U.S., location-based services, it's the hottest thing. You were at the South by Southwest. We talked about this. So, what do you see as far as location-based services and what that's going to mean for Twitter? I know you guys are kind of in it, but how do you see that expanding?
Location is critical. It's very exciting. People have been talking about location-based services for years, and now, thanks to the smartphones, it's actually becoming real, and there's just an explosion of innovation happening there. We think it's super important. We think it will influence all types of information consumption and creation, and we're building it in a platform our platform at a core level.
But are you perhaps talking with some of the big names out there like Foursquare and perhaps Gowalla as far as integrating services with them?
Absolutely. Yeah, Foursquare and Gowalla already work with Twitter. We're talking to both of them to figure out how to make it work better. We think those are very complementary services.
And when you talk to them, what kind of partnerships? I mean, how does that revenue stream go? Or is it just to scale and get people, or is there money to changing hands?
Right now, it's mostly about how do we make the products work better so that the overlapping user bases are better served. And we're both figuring out our business models, but the most important thing is how do we make the user experience great.
Last question here, and that is Google today announced that you can archive, you can search through archived tweets. Was that is that something that they're paying you guys for? Is that something you guys are getting revenue stream from?
It's part of our deal with Google, where we give them the fire hose, and we actually gave them the archive of all historical tweets. We're really excited about it because it's something we haven't been able to do with our capacity in our servers, and they're going to enable the ability to search the entire history of tweets to see when something was first mentioned, and this is the first time this has been available, so we're really excited about it.
And you're okay with giving up that control and letting them handle the search, even though your core function at the beginning was a search?
Well, our philosophy has always been to allow multiple people to innovate and add value to the system, so if it's something we can't do and they can do, then people are better served.
Evan Williams, CEO of Twitter, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Have fun today.